to improve your odds of not coming down with COVID or being exposed?
I decided to make a very strict rule that I would kind of take it into hands his nutrition.
I am learning so much speaking to you, and I know people watching this are too. You're the world's guru on gut health, all right? I want to know, what are you and your family doing to boost your immune system during these crazy COVID times? Is there something you're doing specifically to improve your odds of not coming down with COVID or being exposed and having adverse consequences? It's something that you can tell us, some tips.
I actually put together a gut immune guide for people who do pre-order the book. So it's a completely free guide. So if you do order it, make sure you redeem that, because it's a free guide which talks about how to really maximize your immune system during this period. But actually in that, I share a bit of a story in terms of my husband's actually a family physician. So throughout this pandemic, he has been seeing people who, many of them may have contracted COVID. And yes, he, did wear the PPE, etc. But there are, the cases earlier on. And interestingly, he actually did get COVID-19, but got no symptoms at all. So if we rewind a little bit before he found out about that, as soon as I knew about, the COVID, pandemic coming, I was very, aware that I knew that my husband would be at the front line. So I decided to make a very strict rule that I would kind of take it into hands his nutrition. So what I did was very strict about making sure he maximized his plant-based foods. So really ensuring that over the week, over a 7-day period, he was getting in 30 different types of plant-based foods, which sounds like a lot, but so many simple tips like, whatever he was having for breakfast, I'd add a tablespoon of mixed seeds, and he got 4 points there. With his breakfast, always making sure he's having some sort of cut up fruit, even if it was frozen fruit, that was completely fine. And again, for the lunch and snacks, really making sure he was having things like some legumes thrown in there, whether it's a can of chickpeas, again, super quick, or a handful of nuts. So really focusing on that nutrition element. But then also we know that in terms of gut health and immunity, sleep is also really important. So we had a bedtime that was about an hour earlier than we used to. So it was around 10 p.m. So we made sure that we were getting our 8 hours of good quality sleep. And then also we made sure that as a family, we would go out and get some physical activity. So after you finish work, we would always go for a good hour brisk walk. So it's really those three things: the nutrition, the sleep, and the movement that we prioritized. And again, it's only anecdotal, it's N equals 1, but I think it really does reflect the evidence coming out that having good gut health isn't going to stop you from getting COVID, but if you do get it, you're less likely to get severe symptoms. And there's now a range of clinical trials out there suggesting the same. And in fact, those who've become more severely unwell with COVID seem to be missing some key gut bacteria.
That's amazing. And again, I'm thinking about what you taught us earlier, is 70% of immune system cells are linked to the gut. So if we go back to that, you're eating well, you're feeding your gut, you're improving your immunity because of that link. And hopefully, like you said, you probably can't prevent getting COVID, but if you do get COVID, you're gonna be able to handle it better. Maybe though, if you're exposed to COVID, you may not get it as easily if your immune system is boosted. So, I agree 100%. If you wanna decrease your odds of getting COVID, have a good diet.
Absolutely. So we're on the same page.
We're definitely on the same page. I am learning so much speaking to you, and I know people watching this are too.